Hi, my name is Beverly Bolnick, Vice President of Sales and Marketing at NMP, and I would like to welcome you to National Mortgage Professional Magazine's webinar titled, Does Your 2016 Business Plan Contain Fatal Flaws That Will All But Ensure Failure? Sponsored and presented by Derivian Group. I would like to thank all of our webinar attendees for taking the time out of their busy days for this very valuable and informative webinar in our ongoing series of webinars. Today's webinar will be conducted by Jason Lutz, Chief Operating Officer at Derivian Group. Jason started in the mortgage industry 18 years ago as a secondary marketing analyst. A few years later, he became a loan originator, thinking that he could use his unique skill set as a secondary marketing analyst to his advantage. Jason quickly got a blinding glimpse of the obvious. Succeeding as a loan originator is a lot more complicated than just knowing the loan products inside and out. He persevered to ultimately become a top originator. Jason went on to start a branch, grow its closings to $15 million a month, and ultimately becoming vice president of a leading mortgage company while growing his regions to over $109 million a month in closings. Looking for a new challenge, Jason went on to GoDaddy, where he conceived and launched a product for shared hosting to improve web developers' experience building websites on WordPress and other open source platforms. As COO at Derivian Group, Jason is responsible for developing technology to help grow thousands of loan originators' business, grow companies' loan officer footprint while improving the consumer's experience. If you have questions during the webinar, please be sure to ask them on the GoToWebinar console, and we'll try to answer as many questions as possible at the end of the webinar. Without any further ado, I'd like to turn things over to Jason.
Great. Well, thanks, Beverly. I appreciate it. And thanks, everyone, for jumping on today's webinar. I think we have a lot of good information for you. We're going to try to cram it in pretty quick. And I don't know. I think you're going to love it. So like Beverly said, or I shouldn't say like she said, but this webinar is a little different, I think, than a lot of webinars that you might go to, which is all of the things that I'm going to talk about here is based on experience, whether or not it's some of this experience that Beverly spoke about as a loan officer and branch manager and regional manager and growing my business that way, or specifically using and marketing Rate Alert, 1003 Magnet, and Buyers App, which is what Derivian Group is and what we have. We have a whole host of products that are geared towards loan officers to help market or help them market to real estate agents and consumers. And so I'm going to take those experiences and that we've had and show you where it is that you could have flaws in your 2016 business plan based on things, successes and failures that we've had marketing and helping loan officers market themselves. So just to give you kind of a notion of what we do and where this is coming from, on the left you see Rate Alert. Rate Alert is an MBS alert service. Probably of all three products, the one you've heard of. It's by far the largest, thousands of members, and I highly encourage you, even while we're on the webinar, just go to your app store, download it. It's free. If you're interested in rates and you want to beat your lock test, that's definitely the app to have, and you can try it out for free. 1003 Magnet is another one of our products, which 1003 Magnet, we take Rate Alert, it's an MBS alert service, but we also provide email marketing for loan officers, for real estate agents and consumers, and it's very unique in a few different ways, and I'm going to show you what those unique factors are and how it is that you can implement this into your own program of marketing to real estate agents and consumers. And the newest one, Buyers App, which you probably haven't heard of, we're just launching it here today, is a product that is a loan officer app that you give to real estate agents and consumers, where you help notify them about what's going on in the marketplace, in the real estate market, in their area in real time. It's unlike any other loan officer app on the market today. It sort of acts, I guess, like a big boy app, you know, like the USA Today apps and things of that nature, and I'll show you why here in a second. But jumping into the presentation and what it is that we want to talk about primarily is messaging to realtors and consumers. And in your 2016 business plan, I'm certain that it has elements of building your business, right? Building your real estate business and consumer business. And so doing that, there's really two things that you need to do that everyone, I think, kind of knows, which is first, gain the attention of whoever it is you're marketing to, right, in some fashion that's cool, right, and then ultimately keeping their attention in a cool way. The hard part is maybe not so much getting their attention, but keeping it. Because with all the different platforms that you're able to, digest information, from the internet, from the phone, from the mail, from emails, you name it, it's hard to cut through the noise. And a lot of times what we do is to cut through the noise, we try to be outrageous and do different things, and all of a sudden we're annoying, right? So it's kind of that tightrope of being out there, being in front of people at the right time when they actually make a decision to use you, right, as a loan officer, but at the same time not be annoying. In fact, I think Jason Miller put it best, which he said, yesterday's marketers could get away with being creative powerhouses, but today's successful marketers aren't just good at one thing. We are a hybrid of marketers. And what he's saying there is that back in the 17 years ago, you knew all kinds of people that would just do mail marketing, right? They'd send out postcards or something of that nature, and they could be successful just doing that. But nowadays, if you want to create credibility and you want to build a real estate agent base, a referral base, you have to do a lot of things right, because you need to be on all these different places, whether or not it's apps, in their email, on websites, so that you'll engender credibility, because there's so many people that do it and do it well, right? And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is in your business plan, how to get in front of people in a cool way and how to stay in front of them on a multitude of different platforms and do it smart, okay?
All right, I think we have a poll question for the audience here.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to launch that up on your screen. The question is, what's the most effective way to message prospective buyers and realtors? And if you can answer on your screen, I will share the results with everyone as soon as we get a pretty good amount of people voting. I'll give you a couple of seconds to vote.
Beverly, I can't see the poll question, so.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I'll definitely read the answers out loud so you'll know how many people answered.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm going to close up the poll right now and I'll share the results. Okay, so 53% of you said phone, 24% said SMS, 3% said apps, and 19% said social media.
Oh, wow, this is going to be interesting. I actually can see it now. All of these are, I don't know if there's necessarily a right and wrong answer, right? But one thing I will say is we're going to kind of enlighten you on the fact that phone is definitely a great way to get in front of people. SMS is as well. But the shocking answer there is, and I think what's going to be interesting to everyone, is how effective apps are at communicating information to consumers, to realtors, to you, right? I mean, if you're an app user, you get a lot of information pushed at you. So we're gonna go through some statistics, hard statistics that might make some people change their minds. So that's good. That's perfect. Okay. So Beverly, I'm just going to kind of go on here and talk a little bit about getting in front of realtors in an effective way that, quite frankly, you could start tomorrow. And calling on real estate agents, in my experience, and I've taught hundreds of loan officers, scheduled thousands of real estate agent appointments, there's a lot of different ways, and we'll even talk about some today, getting in front of having that initial contact with a real estate agent. But there is none that have the more immediate gratification that, if done right and done in a cool way, can garner more success. So I guess if there's any, point in the presentation where you're like, hey, I probably should take some notes, this would be it, because I'm going to give you a direct script on what it is that you can say to a real estate agent over the phone to get a meeting with them. So if you're interested in learning about how it is you can get in front of a real estate agent effectively, this is something you're really going to want to pay attention to, because there's a few tidbits here that I think you'll find interesting. Social media, this is another piece where we're going to talk about how it is that you can not only get in front of real estate agents and consumers that you otherwise couldn't, and also how it is that you can stay in front of them in a way, again, that they expect, right? We all go on social media. I shouldn't say we all, most people go on social media on a regular basis, and digest all kinds of content from friends, family, and also outside sources. Email, probably the most recognized, and probably just about everyone here on the phone has some sort of email marketing campaign, whether or not it's to real estate agents, past clients, current clients. We send out through 1003 Magnet and 1003 Magnet millions of emails each and every month. We send them out to realtors and consumers, and we measure all the time so we can provide the best service for our loan officers. And there's certain things that if you implement today with your email marketing to your past clients and your existing real estate agents, that will have huge impact, maybe twice successful in your open rates. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about text marketing, how it is extremely effective in getting in front of people, and if done right can be extremely successful, but is very easily done wrong and could be sort of a close talker, right? It could be annoying. And we know this, again, from firsthand experience, and I'll share that with you, and how it is that we totally screwed up text marketing, okay? And then last, apps. This is sort of, I don't want to say new frontier, but certainly in the mortgage space, in the loan officer space, it is new in the sense that no one is doing it up until now in a way that actually helps loan officers build their business, increase their reach with real estate agents, and allows loan officers to consistently, each and every day, practically all day, be in front of real estate agents and consumers in a cool way that they'll thank you for. All right, so let's go to the first one. This is getting a real estate agent to talk to you, right? A brand new person that doesn't know you, calling on real estate agents. Before, some of you, I'm sure, like, I would never, quote unquote, cold call a real estate agent ever. And I understand some of you might have that sort of thought process because I get it, it's scary. But you can do it in a cool way, and I've taught hundreds of loan officers to do it, and I'm going to show you real quickly how it is that you can do it and some key takeaways and an actual script that you can use. But the key part of anything is it has to do particularly with the initial sale or initial talking with somebody is to avoid objections. It's sort of, you hear all the time, well, I'm going to help you overcome objections. And this is how you overcome an objection. In 2016, and quite frankly today, if you get an objection from a real estate agent or anyone else, you've already lost. Because it's just too easy to go out there and get another loan officer, or if you're out there going to buy a car and someone doesn't tell you what you want to hear or tell you in a way that you want to hear it, you just go on to the next person because it's just too easy to get information. So now you have to figure out a way to avoid objections, to keep it frictionless. So I'm going to show you how to avoid it, how to have a unique way in which you can actually help them. If you're going to call and interrupt someone's day, right, you need to have something super cool to talk about. Otherwise, they're going to be irritated, right? They're not going to like it. So we're going to show you that you need to have sort of a unique sales proposition to present them. In these calls to introduce yourself, it needs to be extremely short. Okay, very short conversation because you have one objection or one objective in mind, and you cannot deviate from it. And it's extremely easy to do it because if you're calling 20 real estate agents and you finally get someone on the phone that actually wants to talk to you and is interested in what you're having to say, it's really easy to start talking about how great you are, how great your company is, and how you can help them in so many different ways. But you need to refrain because you will have completely lost, right, if you do that. And the math is this. If you call 20 real estate agents a day, you can expect 1.5 appointments, which will really actually result in one appointment that you go to each and every day. Again, this is hundreds of loan officers, and this is basically the average that each of our loan officers would experience when they implement this script. Okay? Now, this is the part where I go over the script, so if you want to have a pen and a piece of paper and just jot down these few elements that every script needs to have when you're talking with a real estate agent for the first time in the meeting. So here we go. Hello, my name is Jason Lutz with XYZ Mortgage Company. How you doing today? Good, glad to hear it. First, I understand you probably are already working with a loan officer, and that's totally fine. This isn't a call to beg for your business. Okay? There's a few elements of this that I want to point out. First, you say, I understand that you are probably already working with a loan officer. Any loan officer that's in business for any length of time, even if you haven't cold called real estate agents, or maybe you just gone to open houses, or you saw them in a bar at 12 o'clock at night, real estate agents have the exact same objection every single time as soon as you say you're a loan officer, which is, hey, I already work with someone, no need to talk to me about it because I'm perfectly happy. Sally is the best. They're immediately on the defensive. So you need to handle that objection right up front before they have an opportunity to object. And that's why you say, I know you're already working with somebody. And then you go on to say, this isn't a call to beg for your business, which is really what you're saying is, I'm not here to sell you. Because that is the second fear that every real estate agent, and quite frankly, we all have. None of us want to be sold. It's why we hate going to buy cars, right? Because that's all they do is sell you. And so you're alleviating that objection and that fear right up front before they have time to say boo, right? Okay, here's the second part. I'd like to get your opinion on a product that is helping realtors push prospects off the fence and get them to buy. Do you have 15 minutes to chat tomorrow or Monday? Okay? Couple of things. First, the first part. The first part's the opinion. Again, I'm not here to sell anything. I'm at all. I'm not even going to give it to you. I just want your opinion. Because I have these other real estate agents. They love it. You're a great real estate agent, so I'd like to get your opinion on what it is. Okay? And the second part is the USP, right? And that's what kind of can be anything. I pick something here, but it needs to be real, it needs to be valuable, it needs to be something that you can tease them with, that you can talk to them later about and go into more depth, because that's not the objective here. The objective is just to get the meeting, not to explain to exactly how it is you're pushing the prospects off the fence. The last part took about 2 years to figure out that we were doing it completely wrong, which is, do you have 15 minutes to chat tomorrow, Monday? It used to be, we would ask, would you like to have lunch tomorrow or Monday or whatever? Lunch always seemed like a good idea to me because you're offering something of value. You are paying for a lunch, right? Nowadays, maybe that's a little, not kosher. But the bottom line is you were doing something nice. The problem is that it's a big ask of somebody that doesn't know you. Right? They have no idea if you're a freak. They have no idea if you chew with your mouth open, spit food all over the place, super boring. They don't know you. So it's a big ask, and they're nervous. But 15 minutes is nothing. Go to 15 minutes, go to their office. I promise we'll time it. I'll get out of there, no problemo. It's a low ask because all we're looking to do in this initial conversation is to get in front of them. And the second part is to stay in front of them, right? Provide value, which we can do in a bunch of different ways, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So again, the keys to cold calling is to handle common objection, which is probably a wrong word. It really is to avoid it, right? Because if you get an objection, you might think you're talking your way out of it, but you're not. Something unique, keep it short, and have a clear objective in mind, which is the meeting and only the meeting. You're not trying to sell how great you are, your company, or anything else, just to get the meeting. Okay? All right, so that's calling. You get in front of them, right? You get their attention. Now you need to, over time, build trust, right? Credibility. Because you can't do it in the first call. You can't do it in the 15 minutes. It's something that takes time. In fact, content creates trust. This has always been true, and trust is the filter through which all business success must pass. And we all know that because we know our own actions, right? If we're going to deal with a financial planner or an insurance salesman or a car or any other particularly big purchase, we need to trust who they are. And if we're going to visit a website and buy a product, we need to trust that they are reputable and they're good, right? And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And so with content delivered in a cool way, that's how you build trust, that's how you build credibility, and that's ultimately how you'll build more business. In fact, most businesses completely understand this, and a lot of times as loan officers, we don't think of ourselves as a business, right? We're a business, and the real estate agents are businesses, and we're, it's a business-to-business type of relationship. Nearly a third of all businesses, marketers, are spending 25% of their budgets. They're spending a ton of money, if not more, on just content and delivering of that content, okay? And there are tons of mediums to do it, right, and deliver this content. We're going to talk about these 4. There's, I guess, others, but these are the 4 that I know about. These are the 4 that I have direct experience, and I can show you specific results, and you can duplicate them. And so it's a value. Social media, for me, it's specifically Facebook. I don't really have a lot of experience in, like, I don't know, Instagram and Twitter, a little bit LinkedIn, but I have some specific case study information with social media that you will find extremely interesting, because I just did it about 3 weeks ago, and it has direct impact on how it is that you might be able to build your business in 2016 in a cool way. Email, apps, and SMS. Okay, all 4 of these we're going to talk about. First, social media. Everyone knows about Facebook, because we probably all use Facebook. Take pictures of food and cats and funny videos of cats and that kind of thing. But it's also used, as everyone knows, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, to market yourself, right? Market your business. I have this graphic up of the Twitter and LinkedIn. Like I said, I'm not really going to focus on that, but what you're seeing here is, according to click-throughs, right? This is engagement. This is measurable results. If you post something between 1 and 4 p.m., you'll have the highest engagement value, which is sort of funny because that's during business hours, when people are supposedly working. But that's the best time. It's not exactly the experience that I had, which I'm going to share with you exactly what it is I did. Mine was more of, from 4 to 6 was the best, ironically, but that's statistically speaking across all platforms and industries. That's what you can expect. And then the worst times for Facebook in particular are weekends, early in the morning and late at night. Everyone is using social media. 75% basically of adults is what it comes down to. And as a loan officer, a lot of times, I think that, or at least for me anyway, you tend not to focus in on it. And it's just post a thing here and there and not really give it a ton of attention. And use it mostly for personal, but maybe throw out a couple of things here and there, but not really give it the attention that it deserves, because that's where the eyeballs are, right? That's where real estate agents and consumers go all the time. What I want to share with you specifically is actual marketing. I mean, truly marketing. At 1003 Magnet, for example, we have all kinds of things that you can post onto Facebook that are very informative and that will remind your followers that you are a loan officer. You do it in a cool way by providing quality information. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about specifically trying to get new people into your world using social media, okay? And what you need to do, kind of like what we talked about with calling, is offer something of value to entice the visitor to give you their information. Again, those marketing, these ads that right there, you've seen a million of them, right? If you're on your mobile phone, you'll see it all the time on Facebook. It's like, it's a cool app, and you'll have a little button that says install, right? And you click on it, it launches the app store, and they install it. Or, on the right-hand side, which you don't really see anymore, but all kinds of different ads. That's what we're talking about here. But you can offer all kinds of different sort of marketing or advertisement to entice someone to give you their information. And to do that, because that's something of value to them, right? Their name, their email address, their phone number, you need to provide something of value back. And you can do it through informational webinars, ebooks, right? You have 15 things that every future home buyer needs to know before they pick their real estate agent, stuff like that. You write a cool little ebook. You ask for their name and email address to get the ebook. Help videos, you name it. You guys have seen it on Facebook all the time. What we did, or what I did about 3 weeks ago, is I took Buyer's app, the loan officer app, right? So you have an app that has all your information on it, that's easily shareable from one person to another, where we provide real estate news, alerts, push notifications, right? You get it from, you've seen it before with like maybe a USA Today app, or for sports lovers, if you're on ESPN, if you use their app, you get live alerts that are sent to you when something cool happens in sports. Same kind of, this app is alive, right? With real estate and mortgage information, and it's branded and it's your app. Right, it has the things that, I guess someone that's looking to buy a home or someone that actually talks to people about buying the home really sort of need, like a mortgage calculator and different things. So what I did is I took this app, right, and I advertised it, my loan officer app, on Facebook. I geared it to real estate agents and consumers. I had these 3 ads, actually had a couple more that I would rotate in and out. And I focused in on a particular group, a subset. So in this case, I had California, right, and people that denoted themselves as real estate agents. So you can do the same thing with other things. I use the Buyers app, but you can do a webinar or anything else where you have local real estate agents see your advertisement on their timeline, and they click on it and they engage in the way in which you sort of design them to engage. Then we also did it for consumers. In this case, California likely buyers. Okay? These are people that are likely to move. And that's why Facebook, because they know everything that you do, by the way. They know all the different sites that you've gone to. They place cookies. They know different pages that you like and sort of what usually results in those activities. And so they have these algorithms, and they determine that, hey, you're probably going to move, or at least that you're behaving like a lot of people that move behave. Right? And so we put it on these 2 groups' timelines, and we got tons of leads. And it averaged about $3.68 per buyer lead and realtor lead. So these, we got new people in our fold that we can market to and talk to for $3.68 per lead. And then what you can do, and what you need to be able to do, is push information from you to their phone, to their app, and message to them in any way they want. And that's super important, because people read push notifications almost as much as they would read SMS and text alerts. And then they go back and they're able to go and check out this cool app information. They remember who you are because they're constantly being reminded, and you get to reach out in different ways, in cool ways, in ways in which they expect from a financial institution, from someone in the financial industry, and providing information that they care about because they're in that mode of thinking. They're a real estate agent. They're a buyer. Okay? All right, email marketing. Now, email marketing is certainly, it's the most common. Everyone's doing it right now in some fashion or another to real estate agents and consumers. And it's good. It works. We do it all the time with 1003 Magnet, as I mentioned. Then there's some, statistics that make it less and less attractive as time goes on, and certainly in 2016. One, just the sheer number of emails. 125 emails are sent and received by average corporate users. Basically, they're inundated with emails. The other thing is 17% of Americans create new email addresses every second. Basically, what that says is after 5 years, if you did nothing with your email list, it's kind of worth nothing because they've got a new email address and they've kind of gone on, right? However, you can experience a tremendous amount of success with it, for sure. And these are a few tips of how to sort of get the most out of your email marketing that you're doing. First, almost 19% decrease in click rates when you use the word newsletter. I really don't see that much anymore. People kind of figured that out, but just leave that out. It's trite, it's old, right? You don't want the word newsletter in the subject line. 22.3% increase in open rate when personalized subject lines, right? Your name, something or other. Adding realtor's picture to realtor marketing doubles the open rate. That's our statistic. It's something that we actually accidentally discovered, that if you put a real estate agent's picture on the marketing that you're sending to them, it doubles the open rate. I'll share with you here in a second what I mean. And it needs to be timely and relevant. I'll show you some statistics from 1003 Magnet and a realtor and consumer marketing. They're just insane. But the biggest factor in knowing if your emails are going to get open is if it's timely and relevant. But man, timely means a lot. And let me show you why. This is an alert that comes from Rate Alert / 1003 Magnet. This is an MBS alert that says, hey, the MBS market is improving enough that it will affect mortgage rates and it will affect the rate sheet that you're looking at from this morning. Right? This is a super time-sensitive email because it's happening right this second. It's the fastest alert service in the industry, and when you receive that email, if you react now, you're going to be ahead of the market by about 15 minutes or so, or secondary market by 15 minutes or so. So this information is super timely and super relevant because they get to see the graph, and it's all the information they kind of need in one condensed little uniform. And it's very, very simple. It's not like it's a long, complicated email. It's just timely and relevant. Well, this email, this one email, and we send this email out sometimes 4 and 5 times a day, depending how crazy the market is, gets an 86% open rate, 85, almost 86. This is actually from our email aggregator because no one believes us when we say we have an email that gets an 85% open rate. But what that shows you is the more timely and relevant an email is, the higher the open rate is. Because look at this. This is an email that we send out that's co-branded that goes to real estate agents and consumers, but primarily real estate agents in this particular case. And it gets a 43% open rate, which is about 2.5, 3 times the average open rate of an email. If you get a 10 to 15% open rate, you're doing good. Anything over 20% is insane. Super good. This gets a 43% open rate. Why? Well, it's timely. We send it out every day. So it's information that's happening now. It's relevant, but it's also co-branded. It has the real estate agent's information on the email so that, 1, they like seeing themselves, right? And 2, they can forward it on to their consumer base or other real estate agents, you name it. So for your newsletters, even the ones you're sending to real estate agents, do yourself a favor and co-brand it even to them as well. And this is the single branded. Ours get a 21% open rate, which is high. But you can see sort of as you go further away from timely and relevant, open rates go down. And so anything that you do in terms of email marketing, make sure that it means something right here and now, and it's relevant, obviously, to your audience. SMS marketing. I think that was pretty high on the list in terms of effectiveness. Or no, low on the list. Well, 90% of text messages are read within 3 minutes. So in terms of getting in front of your audience, text messaging is basically as good as it gets. And apps, push notifications, are a close second. So that part is super good because if you send it out, you know it's getting read. Which with emails, you can't say the same thing. With doing a Facebook ad, you can't say the same thing and all that. The bad part is it's hard to create content of value in 140-some characters, right? And if you link it to an outside website, that's annoying. We've tried it because it takes them from one platform to another, and users don't like it. So while it's effective in getting in front of people, it's easy to annoy them. In fact, with Rate Alert, what we did is that we would have loan officers that came to our site. They expressed interest. Yeah, I think Rate Alert sounds cool. I want to check it out. And then we would send them out an SMS, which was a download link for the Rate Alert app that they kind of wanted. They did not want to be intruded like that, right? We got more complaints than we had downloads. So just because it makes sense and just because they're going to see it does not mean it's the right thing to do, as we found out. And then lastly, apps.
All right, I think we have one more poll question here.
Yes, that's right.
Yep, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Okay, we're going to launch that one right now. Approximately how many apps do you have installed on mobile devices? You can answer on the screen. I know my answer is 1 million.
10 or more. Yes.
I'm just going to give you a couple more seconds to answer, and I'll share the results with everyone.
Cool. I'm curious on this.
I'm going to close it up. Looks like the majority of you are junkies like I am. 71% said 10 or more. 20% said 3 to 10. 7% said less than 3, and 2% said none.
Wow, I'm surprised there was that. Maybe someone accidentally clicked on something they didn't mean to click on. This is kind of what I thought, and I think we're in line with some of the statistics that you're going to see here, because it's changed, right? I mean, the world has changed in terms of how it is that you consume content. I mean, if you're like me, which it sounds like just about everyone is, you consume content via app. You know, I have my financial news app. I have my USA Today app. I hate to say it, I have a TMZ app where I read about what all the celebrities are doing. I discriminate on which app I go into and what kind of content that I expect to see. And that's the way most people work now. It's crazy, right? 85% of smartphone owners would rather give up drinking water than deleting their mobile apps. It might be a different answer if you said alcohol. I don't know. I think it might be fundamentally different. But the point is that people care about having their apps, and they use them each and every day regularly. 43% of customers are more likely to make a purchase when mobile offers are part of an orchestrated campaign that unfolds over time across multiple channels. That's what Jason Miller was saying. He's saying that for us as marketers, which frankly, first and foremost, which I learned very early on in my career, going from secondary marketing to actual marketing, which is what being a loan officer is, that you need to be everywhere to these people, because one, they need to see you on multiple platforms, but two, you don't know really what their primary mode of getting information is. It's more and more apps, but it's not all apps, right? People use different things. So you need to be everywhere. 68% of consumers who have downloaded a brand's app have enabled push notifications. This is huge, right? Because earlier in that poll question, we had apps, and apps were basically like zilch in terms of, effective modes of communication with consumers, right? You were saying, no one communicates through apps. That's not effective. Wrong. About just under 90% of push notifications that are sent, and you kind of think about the push notifications that you get on your own apps, are read. And actually 68% is this thing, is people go out of their way to turn them on. Now with Buyer's app, they're already turned on, but this is, they actually go on and turn them on because they want to be notified of what's going on as it pertains to their app, right? In this case, ours is financial and real estate news. 70% of consumers found all times of push notifications, including order updates and location-based messages, to be valuable. I mean, again, notifications and alerts, like we send with Buyer's app, and like you can through Buyer's app, your own loan officer app, they find valuable, right? They care about it. They don't view it the same way as they view texts. They don't even view it the same way as they do emails. If you ask the same thing about emails, there's no way that they would say, found all types of email notifications valuable. It's impossible, right? Push notifications, 540% increase in daily usage with push notifications. So apps that don't have push notifications do not get used. Meaning if there isn't something about that application that pulls you back in with valuable content, right, they're going to quit using. In fact, it was funny. About a week ago, I just found an app that I completely forgot I downloaded. Everyone's heard about it, Flipboard. I had the notifications turned off. I haven't been to it. It's one of the coolest news apps out there, but I hadn't been reminded that I had it with cool push notifications alerting me of new news, right? Primary source of content, push notifications. Financial institutions send out push notifications to their user base. What this is saying is that users expect to get push notifications and messaging from their financial apps. That's part of what they kind of expect, and financial institutions do it, and that's what we're providing is financial and real estate information. There's good ways to do it, though, and then there's bad ways to do it. Just like there's good emails and there's bad emails. There's good text marketing and there's bad text marketing. This is an example of a push notification that is good, right? So with your app, you can offer these kind of notifications. This is Waze. Everyone know what Waze is. They're huge in California. I-28 shutdown starts at 2 p.m. today, right? It's timely, it's relevant, just like a good email. If it's timely and relevant to the person, that's when push notifications should be used, and that's when you should use them with Buyers app and bringing your customers and users back. This is an example of a bad push notification, right? A new way of communicating. Steelers cornerback William Gay says former Ravens running back Ray Rice was wrong, but also needs help. There's nothing timely. There's nothing, maybe not even relevant to this guy, right? It's just, it's not time critical, not time sensitive. Okay? So we talked about calling on real estate agents and getting their attention. I'm just going to kind of recap here. Social media and how it is that you can use it to get in front of real estate agents and consumers and stay in front of them in cool ways. Email campaigns. Again, emails are used all the time. We get them all the time from every source, and there's certain ways that we've talked about how it is that you can be more in their face in a cool way and more effective way. SMS and apps. Okay, here at the end I want to kind of, I don't know, sell Buyers app in a way, but I'm not really selling it. I'm just telling you how it is that you can get it for free and check it out, and it's super easy. Step one, you go to our website and you build your app, right? It takes about 2 to 3 minutes. You walk through these steps and boom, your app will be done, ready for you to use, ready for you to disseminate, ready for you to try out. You use promo code NMP, you get 20% off forever. But we're also letting you use the entire system, everything with it, for free, right, for a week. So you can use the app, you can see it, you can send it off to people, have them try it out, all for absolutely free. You don't pay a single penny today. Go through the building process, go through the checkout process, and you get full access to everything. The app, you can go in there and fully customize it even further, change the color, add links to your actual app, your quick apps, outside websites, you name it. It's incredibly cool, and you have your own app in literally minutes. You can start advertising your app everywhere. Again, like Jason Miller was saying, it's important for us to be in communication with our real estate agents and buyers and our prospects in every way possible in all platforms. And we need to remind them over and over again. So you can put marketing onto your email signature, and we provide that within the loan officer dash. We provide marketing that you can put on your website that links to your own website, your own app website. Let me just show you this real quick. Beverly, this is an example. This is the loan officer dash. There's all kinds of different tabs and whatnot. But this is the loan officer page that you will get, and it's generated automatically, immediately. As soon as you go through the process of that 2 or 3 minutes, it'll generate this page for you, and you can now start sending this out to your real estate agents and buyers and start communicating with them in a way that is more effective than any other platform out there today. And be sort of elevated as an expert, right? You have your own app that gives real-time real estate and mortgage information to real estate agents and consumers all day, every day, sending out push notifications on your own, and we do it as well when huge events occur, like yesterday when the Fed increased rates by 1/4. Right here, you send out your push notification, or excuse me, you share, just takes 2 seconds, list all the people you want to share it with, and you shoot it out. Another cool thing, we talk about timely and relevant, right? Well, there's nothing more timely and relevant than when someone goes into their app and starts fiddling around with the mortgage calculator. They might be thinking about buying or changing the purchase price. They're thinking about mortgages, bottom line. They're thinking about real estate. You should probably talk to them then. So when they do that, we actually send out an email to you saying, hey, it might be a good time to talk with them. The last thing is, within about a week or so, I am going to hold a webinar, or within a week you'll get this email when you sign up today, or sign up right now. I'm going to hold a webinar at the beginning of January, January 12th. And you know how I kind of went through real quick on how it is that I was able to generate all those realtor and consumer leads for $3.68? Well, I'm going to show you precisely how to do it. And even in the loan officer portal, you have all of the material. You have all the language that I used. You have all the imagery that I used for the Facebook ads. But we're going to hold a webinar, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is that you need to do and what you can do to have the exact same results. So go ahead and first of all, thank you for jumping on the webinar. I hope it was valuable and helping you with your 2016 plan to build your real estate agent and consumer base. But go ahead and go to buyersapp.com. Try it. It's absolutely free, and I'd really appreciate it. And that's pretty much all I have. Beverly, is there, well, I guess we'd open it for questions, by the way. Any questions about what we've gone over over the last, 45 minutes? I'd be happy to answer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do have some questions coming in. If you do have a question, definitely send it in to us. We're going to try to get to as many as we can. We only have a few minutes left. So I'll get to as many as I can, and then if we run out of time, we will make sure that Jason gets your questions and someone gets back to you in the next couple of days. The first question, is there a way to integrate Buyers App with Encompass or my CRM?
Yes. So, I mean, doing it individually, you wouldn't. But when we sign up a whole company or a portion of the company, we will integrate. Our team will work with your company and integrate it so that your real estate agents and your consumers will automatically be ported into your database. The one thing is that is kind of interesting with, I don't know, sharing of this type of information is it's pretty intimate in a weird way, right? I mean, you're asking them to basically be on their phone in the place where they spend a lot of their time. And so when that happens, it typically happens upon a meeting. Hey, listen, I have this app, and you just go into the app and you share it with them, and it happens sort of one at a time, right? Not typically shooting it out to a bunch of people. However, we absolutely can integrate with Encompass. We have a lot of experience doing that, actually.
Okay, great. Explain how I get notified when a realtor uses my mortgage calculator.
Well, you get notified via email, and it's instant. So what happens is that if a real estate agent or a consumer goes into that portion of the app, it automatically emails and notifies you that that person is in that place in that app. And what that tells you, again, I'll sort of reiterate, but and I think it's kind of obvious, that if someone is fiddling around with a mortgage calculator, they're thinking about mortgages, and it's kind of a good time to talk with them. So we automatically, instantly email you when that's happening.
Excellent. You mentioned the Rate Alert app. What is that exactly?
Okay, so Rate Alert is a MBS alert service, right? And we have a Rate Alert app, and you just type in Rate Alert into your app store, and you'll go right to it. You'll see the little guy. But what it does is for producing originators that have sort of a pipeline, one of the key things that we all know we need is to know what interest rates are doing, like kind of all the time. And because we're consistently talking with real estate agents and consumers, and we need to be up to speed. Plus, we might have loans we need to lock, that kind of thing. Well, the Rate Alert and Rate Alert app basically notifies you via these alerts, these push notifications, to say, hey, the market is going up or down by this amount, that it could potentially affect mortgage rates. Plus, we have AM and PM lock commentary, basically telling you what's going on in the marketplace, what to watch out for, big events, right? We talk about a lot, like yesterday's Fed move. So you get all of this information from your mobile app, and then some.
Great. A few people are asking if we can repeat that promo code.
It's NMP. So you go to the checkout. Once you get to the very end, you've completely built your app, and it's actually a little underneath the fold, right? So right where you're putting in your credit card information, there's a little promo code piece where it says NMP, and you'll see that it'll change the price and lower it by 20%. But remember, it also shows you owe absolutely nothing now, right? You just go ahead and you just use it. It's for free. You get a week trial and check it out. But NMP will take 20%, and it's below the fold where you put your credit card information.
Excellent. Someone had asked if they can put their own push notifications in, or if it's just information that you've already loaded into there.
Oh, it's a good question. Yes, that's the power of this. We provide market alerts. That's true, and it automatically happens daily, and it brings the consumer back into the app in a cool way, just like the big boy apps do. But what makes this unique, well, that makes it unique for a loan officer app, and I think no one else does that. But what makes it even cooler and super effective is that you get to send out your own push notifications. And you send out your own alerts. They can say whatever it is you want. You can send that one out every Friday afternoon, reminding them of loan products, reminding real estate agents of loan products that you have, any specials, positive real estate news that's going on in your area that you want to convey to your buyer base and also your real estate agent base. You get to send your own push notifications to everybody, a segment of people, or just one person. You can send a push notification to just one person, which is super powerful because you have different messaging for different people at different times. And you know if you send them a push notification, statistically speaking, almost 100% of the time they're going to open it.
Sounds great. So let's say 30 people have the app. Do I have to do any work to keep the app going?
No, that's the beauty of this. You know, typically with an app, and we kind of mentioned it before, if an app isn't alive and consistently providing cool information, they'll just stop using it. For example, if you have an app that's nothing more than just a glorified business card and maybe a mortgage calculator on there, and maybe occasionally a news snippet here and there, people are going to forget about it, right? They're not going to use it. With us, we're consistently providing information in the app, and we're always pulling them back in with relevant and timely push notifications that a real estate agent and consumer will care about, right? And you don't need to do a thing. Just let it happen. And you can engage in the process, which we highly recommend, and send out push notifications yourself that are very relevant to your area, to your consumers, to your real estate agents.
Okay, we have time for one more question, and this one is, why would I need this if I already have realtor business?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, well, why do you need to do anything? I mean, if you already have business, then you should just stop doing everything. This app is perfect for someone that actually has real estate agents that they deal with, because now they get to communicate with them in a way that a real estate agent expects to be communicated with, right? You're going to be in the place that they're always at, which is on their phone in the apps, as everyone on this webinar basically said. I mean, everyone has apps, and they use specific apps for specific things. And so if you have real estate agents, you definitely want to do it. And plus, man, if you have loyal real estate agents and you give them the app, they're going to be advocates of yours. They're going to sing what your praise is and the things that you're doing well and the cool things that you have. And so now they're going to share the app with their real estate agents and their consumers because it's super cool and they like you. So yeah, you definitely, even if you have business, you definitely want to use this.
Excellent. All right, well, that is all the time we have today. I definitely want to thank you, Jason, for all the excellent information. It was a great presentation. And I wanted to thank everyone again for taking the time out of their day to attend the webinar. We will be doing another webinar in the new year. So our next webinar is not till after the new year. So I hope everyone has a great holiday and a great new year. And we will see you on the next webinar. Thank you again, Jason and Derivian Group.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate the time. Thank you, everyone, for jumping on.